let's get going then. Chapter 20, Porridge and Port. The prince was hurled up and over and landed on his back, sprawled out on the floor. Thud. Oof. A figure was standing over him in the blackness. "What do you think you are doing out of your room at this time of night?" the voice demanded. "I thought you were locked in." "Nanny, you're surprisingly strong," said the boy as he lay there, dazed and confused. The old lady proudly shared her fitness regime. Porridge every morning and a bottle of port each night. Indeed, the stench of alcohol coming from the lady was quite overpowering. Alfred thought he might get drunk on the fumes alone. "Would you like a hand up, Your Royal Highness?" asked the tough old bird. "Oh, yes, please." With ease, the old lady yanked him to his feet. "You won't believe what I've just seen," said Alfred. Outside the door, the boot steps were growing louder and louder. Stomp, stomp, stomp. "Shh!" shushed Nanny. "The guards will hear us, and then we'll both be sent to the tower." The pair waited until the sounds of the boot steps rose and then fell, disappearing off down the corridor. "Now, you and I need to have a good talk, young man." Nanny's tone was the one that grown-ups use just before they tell you off. "Let me tell you something first," pleaded Alfred. "It's super important." No, no, no. Sit down, young man. Let me tell you something." All right. I'll sit down. But where?" The problem was that it was pitch black in Nanny's bedroom. "Sit on my bed," said the old lady. Alfred shuffled around the room with his arms out, attempting to feel his way to it. "No, that's not the bed. That's a chest of drawers," hissed Nanny. "That's the coffee table. And what you're sitting on right now is me." "Oh, sorry, Nanny." Eventually, the boy found the bed, and Nanny began her whispered tirade. "You are going to get yourself killed. Prince or no prince, sneaking around the palace at night is dangerous." "Have you finished?" asked Alfred. "Don't you have to finish me," she hissed. "Nanny, please, you have to listen. I have to tell you something you're not going to believe." "I can believe a lot," mused the old lady. "Trust me, you are not going to believe this." "Well, get on with it then." "I am getting on with it." "Go on then. If you stop speaking, then I can." "I won't say another word," replied Nanny. Alfred took a breath and then began. "There is a beast in Buckingham Palace." There was a pause before Nanny asked, incredulous, "A what?" "A beast. A real-life griffin, just like on the flags and the armbands." "A real-life one?" "Yes." "That's impossible," she scoffed. "It's not impossible. I saw it with my own eyes." "Oh, my little prince, you just had a bad dream, you poor thing. A nightmare." This was no nightmare. It was real. Nanny shook her head and tutted. "What an imagination you have, young man. Let's get you back to bed right away. Come on, chop chop." "No," replied Alfred firmly. They sat in silence for a moment. "I wish you wouldn't raise your voice like that, Your Royal Highness," began Nanny. "The guards will hear us." "I'm sorry, Nanny," he whispered. "But please, I beg you, I need you to believe me." The old lady dismissed him again. "But it's not true, Alfred. A beast in Buckingham Palace? It can't be." The boy thought for a moment before he replied. "Then let me prove it to you." Chapter 21, The Vault. The next thing Nanny knew, Alfred was leading her out of her bedroom in the dead of night. "Being out of our bed at this late hour with the palace teeming with guards? Are you nuts?" she demanded as they tiptoed along the corridor of staff bedrooms. The prince pondered this for a moment. "Probably. A little bit, yes. It runs in the family. Always has." "Where on earth are you taking me?" "I think I know where the statue of the griffin came from. The one they used to bring the beast to life. Come on." Alfred dragged the old lady along the corridor to a steep flight of ancient stone steps. He didn't dare turn on the lights. That would alert the royal guards, or worse still, the deadly all-seeing eye. Instead, the pair lit 2 old lanterns that were left at the top of the stone steps to light their way down. Slowly, they descended the steps until they were in the deepest depths of Buckingham Palace. They lifted their lanterns to reveal a vast cellar, so vast it spanned the entire length and width of the palace. The vault. It was bigger than a football pitch. The vault was where all the countless gifts given to the royal family over the hundreds of years were stored. Most of them were unwanted, but far too precious to throw away. There were thousands of wooden crates and boxes storing treasures, and plenty of bizarre items on display too. An African tribal mask, a harp that plucked itself, a stuffed polar bear from the Arctic in mid-roar, a samurai suit of armour complete with a sword, the model of an ancient warship, a dozen ornate jewelled Fabergé eggs from Russia, a giant marble throne from ancient Rome, a 500-piece gold tea set, a death mask for an ancient Egyptian pharaoh, a bronze bust of some dictator or other who had gone by the name of Trump. Since the kingdom had been plunged into darkness, many royal treasures had been moved to the vault to keep them safe. Priceless paintings, gold statues, and antique furniture were now stored amongst the many curiosities. Alfred had been down to the vault many times before. It was the perfect place for a game of hide and seek. His mother used to bring him there when he was little, and together, while they had whiled away many a happy afternoon, him hiding and her scooping him up into her arms when she found him. On one of those afternoons, the pair had stumbled upon a number of spooky stone statues. They were statues of creatures. The mightiest of them was the griffin. On discovering the statues, the Queen had taught her son that these creatures were the king's beasts, 10 creatures that represented the British royal family throughout the ages. Intrigued, the boy then spent many an hour reading up on them, with books like The King's Beasts, Griffins and Their Meaning, Dragons of the British Isles, The Myth of the Unicorn, Worship of Mammals in Ancient Times, A Pictorial History of Royal Statues, Beasts of Britain, A Spotter's Guide, The Beastopedia, Beasts, Beasts and More Beasts, The Bumper Book of Beasts. Now, that's what I call a beast, and the official beast colouring book. There should be about 10 stone statues down here somewhere, said Alfred. So, asked Annie. So one of them was used to bring the griffin to life. Oh, we're back at that again, are we? Sighed the old lady, rolling her eyes. Yes, we are. It's way past your bedtime. I don't care about boring bedtime, snapped the boy. We need to find them now. Nanny huffed and puffed. Well, can you at least remember where they were? This place goes on forever. Alfred lifted his lantern to take in the vast room. Turn left at the Sphinx. He began walking, with Nanny staying close behind. Their footsteps echoed in the darkness. Straight on to the gold coffin, he continued as they walked, and then a left. Then look out for the bust of Medusa. Alfred placed his hand on the head of snakes. If I remember right, the beasts should be right ahead of us. The boy lifted his lantern. Leaning out of the gloom, there were a number of stone statues. The King's Beasts. Chapter 22. The King's Beasts. Now, a bit of a quiz for you, Alfred, began Nanny as the... Hi, just popping in at the end to say that I ran out of time on the recording, so I will read chapter 22 and 23 next time. Speak to you then.